Every photographer at one time or another takes a look at his or her best work and thinks, you know, I've got some shots here that are as good as anything I've seen in books or magazines. I'll bet I could sell my stuff. I'll bet I could make a living doing something I love, doing photography. And usually, that's where it stays, just another idle thought. Well, I've got some wonderful news for you. You can make money doing photography. If you've got good, marketable shots, they'll sell. It's as simple as that. And the good news is contained in this book, Sell and Resell Your Photos, published by Writer's Digest Books. And its author, Rohn Engh, is living proof that his theories do indeed work.
So graphically speaking, a marketable picture is one that, for example, you can read into it. One that evokes a mood. For example, the picture of Blackberry, my cat, looking out the window on a snowy day. That picture has been sold to an environmental magazine on heat loss. Another one time it was in a sociology textbook on loneliness and despair. Another time it was sold in a children's magazine. So a good photo illustration is one that you can read into. That is, it evokes a mood, for example. And the picture of the girl with her head down on the books, for example, I have wonderful pictures of her that I'm sure her mother or sister would like, where she's looking to the left or right. And then I said, well, how about in this shot, put your head down? And that's the one the editors always bought. So the editors were teaching me how to take a photo illustration, so to speak.
Ron, in your book, Sell and Resell Your Photos, you speak of a marketing system. Tell us about that.
Well, I think in the beginning, most photographers just indiscriminately shoot pictures every which way and then wonder why they're gathering dust in some file or shoebox or wherever they keep it. And the answer I certainly found, and many photographers concur with this, is that they had no system for actually matching what their marketing strength area is with markets that are out there. And what I mean by marketing strength area is that each of us have a special expertise. You might be into aviation or whatever, and other persons might be into nursing or medicine or education and the like. And I say in my book that you ought to discover, by just a system of synthesizing down your interest areas, as to what you really are as a photographer by looking at your pictures, much as I did when I first started out too. And come up with 2 or 3 marketing strengths areas. That is, wild horses couldn't pull you away from scuba diving or auto racing or whatever. Because in any entrepreneurial kind of endeavor, you're going to get knocked down and you got to pick yourself up again, knocked down. And the fortune and glory is nice, but in the end, if you really love what you're doing, you're going to pick yourself up for that 3rd or 4th time again. And that seems to make the difference between the people that stick it out here and those that go on to basket weaving or something else. And so I like to say that your PMS area, your personal photographic marketing strength area, is a very important thing to keep into consideration when you want to sell your pictures. In other words, I could say that XYZ publishing house has a $30,000 or $50,000 a month budget and say they are into gardening, healthful living. In fact, there's a place in Pennsylvania that has a $30,000 a month budget. Does that mean all photographers should go out taking pictures of cauliflower and tomato plants or roses? No, not unless you really get a kick out of taking those pictures. So, find your marketing strength, and then everything else I say kind of falls in order after that.
How exactly can we find our own markets?
At a library is a gold mine, really. Instead of going out this weekend and shooting up a lot of film, spend it in the library, roll your sleeves up, go to the reference department, and then there are some 57 to 60 different directories. Now, not all libraries will have these directories. For example, Magazine Industry Marketplace, Photographer's Market, Stock Photo and Assignment, Source Guide, these kind of directories, Gebby's, all in one directory, that list thousands, literally, of magazines and also of book publishers. But the nice thing is they list them by category. So if you're into, say, child development, that sort of thing, you might find 15, 20 magazines you never heard of. Or into, for example, automotive. I know, for example, Motor Trend, but I found 68 of them in Magazine Industry Marketplace, so I missed it by 67 magazines. Then you look up the art director or the photo editor, and then you ask for their photo guidelines. You write to them on professional-looking stationery. I always like to say it must be deluxe stationery because we're dealing long distance. You don't get a second chance at a first impression, so it's very important to look like a pro. And then begin dealing by the mail, just like writers do, with the particular photo editor in your particular category. So I like to emphasize, just take a small corner of that pie and deal in that area where you are a specialist yourself. And the editor will recognize this.